What up y'all, it's TYR. I wanted to make one last follow-up video to my ILCA and Pokemon discussion and why I think Riddler Ku is wrong with the notion that one, Pokemon is somehow upset at ILCA for ruining their brand, and two, that ILCA was long gone from Pokemon when asked if they're working on new games for 2024. And yeah, I ended the last video saying that Pokemon is stupid if they really did drop ILCA and kind of leaving it there. But now in this video, I want to talk about why Pokemon might still be working with ILCA, and this would be good news to me. And there's two main points to this. The first bit is something y'all might find interesting. It's something I cut out of the last video because I couldn't be bothered to edit it, but it's something like this. See, I was trying to follow ILCA's footprint, right? And that's when I realized they were working with Bandai a lot. But I noticed something else. You see, I looked through all of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet's credits to see if ILCA would be mentioned there. And they are mentioned there. They're mentioned there under like the planning team, which isn't too big a role, but as far as I know, it helps with like resource management and stuff. So Ku's saying ILCA was long gone. Well, they were working with Pokemon on this 2022 game. But it keeps going because ILCA is mentioned a second time in the credits under story related things. Now the credits, this is huge by the way, the credits don't really explain properly what they're being credited for. But Scarlet and Violet has one of the best stories in Pokemon. That ending with Sadentor going to the future and them building up that awkward dynamic with Arvid and his parents, that was really good. Even the smaller stuff like Penny's mini storyline and Namona's mini storyline, they really got into like the specifics of how she often found herself alone because she's so eccentric. How all of your squad are actually a bunch of loners at the end of the day, and so you come together to form a new group. ILCA in the credits is listed as helping with the story, which at least means they're helping with the narrative in some way of Scarlet and Violet. But that's just the base Scarlet and Violet, right? Came out in 2022, which means ILCA's involvement could be somewhere in the past because games take a while to develop. And so I looked at the credits for the Indigo disc and ILCA is mentioned again. But Ku's saying ILCA was gone long before. See, remember I told y'all, Ku sometimes is wrong or makes assumptions based off other information he's gotten. I think Ku was wrong in this. And ILCA is also the one who made Pokemon home. So Pokemon's always gonna be tied to ILCA anyway. Then comes the kicker. About a week ago on March 11th, something came out from the Pokemon company. They filed a trademark for a certain title, Pokémon Works. I'm gonna give y'all the scoop on this, right? Because I got the info. This is the trademark here. It wasn't just trademarked on March 11th. That's when the news came out, right? Look down here. It was actually trademarked on March 4th. Or in our time, that's around March 3rd. And right down here, that's the big three. That's Nintendo, Game Freak, and Creatures, which formed the Pokemon company when together. They put out this trademark. This building is where Pokemon Works was registered to. And guess what's also in this building? The big ILCA. So Pokemon, you want to get so far away from ILCA, you're freaking gonna be their neighbor? Let the world know, let ILCA know I had its back even when Ku didn't and the internet didn't. Pokemon would never drop ILCA. I've been saying this using logic itself and the facts line up. There is no shot Pokemon is that stupid that they would have trained ILCA. Everything I said, bro, that they would have trained ILCA and then just dumped them. It makes no sense. The only way it would have made sense is the freaking war leader example I gave, where they wanted to pin people's bad impression of BDSP on ILCA. But that makes no sense. It's so much more valuable, the company ILCA, to them because they made them develop a whole game. Listen, it may seem stupid and simple in the bigger scheme of making games, the project of making BDSP, but that is a huge task they successfully completed, regardless of how you feel about the final product. I could still be wrong, okay? The facts still aren't out there, but Pokemon would not drop ILCA. Let it be known, ILCA, for the second time, man's had your back. You see here on ILCA's page where they list all their companies, Toho Animation Studio, Bandai, Monaka. This is all ILCA stuff in this building. Now here's the kicker. It sounds like ILCA might be doing something, it's hard to say, similar to what they did with Bandai setting up a new company to work on games for Pokemon. So when the next Pokemon game come out, instead of saying developed by ILCA, not that that should really carry a bad reputation, but whatever, in the current climate it might, it does, the internet's weird, it would say developed by Pokémon Works. And that would sit better with fans. You know, Unova remakes, Deep Black, Vast White, developed by Pokémon Works. That's what you'd see on the intro screen instead of ILCA. Now let's take things a bit down back to reality. This new trademark Pokémon Works, we don't know what it's actually about. Assume the least. The information to take away from this video though is that mysteriously, after ILCA has been allegedly pushed out of the picture by Pokemon, that Pokemon Works has been set up in a building where a lot of ILCA's companies are. And you add this with my video saying that ILCA are actual capable developers and they're not to blame for the chibi BDSP games you got, and you get an interesting idea, which is that maybe, nothing's confirmed, but maybe Pokemon is still working with ILCA. And that's always a good thing, to have that partner in crime help when you make games. Now there's one last thing to mention with this Pokemon Works situation that looks promising, but I want to keep this video simple, so we'll talk about that in the next one, and I think it might be a good thing. So yeah, I'll see y'all there. Take care.